Hello, Philip with Schumann Projects here. Today we're going to be making some board game letter tiles, extra big, to hang on the wall for decoration. I'm starting out with some 1x4-inch pine for this. This is actually a commission project, and so I wanted to make the cost affordable without going too expensive, and finished pine's great for that. These are pretty clean right from the store, but I gave them quick sand with probably like a 150 and then a 220 sanding just to get the boards nice and clean. I want my tiles to be square, so what I'm doing is setting up a stop block on the chop saw that's about 3.5 inches. That's the width of the finished boards, so I can just chug through and cut as many of these as I want. I cut one end off just to give a nice flush finish, and then just go to town cutting up as many of these blocks as I need for this batch. I used a roundover bit on the router with a bearing just to knock down the front face. Gets rid of some of the inconsistencies in the board and helps kind of make a little bit more finished look that matches the game board tiles. Once all of that was done, I went back and did finish sand just kind of on those corners and on the faces to get them nice and clean. I'm using a water-based polycrylic in matte to actually finish these before I put any of the lettering on. I found that the vinyl that I'm going to use actually sticks better to the polycrylic than it does to the natural wood. Probably some of the sanding residue gets in there, just makes it a little bit less to adhere on, so that helps out. I'm using a Cricut to cut out the vinyl letters. One of the things Cricut does is it'll try and optimize your placement. So one thing you want to do as a quick tip is to actually use the attach tool to link all the pieces together that you want to print. I've matched the large letter, the number score, and I've actually put in a little L down at the bottom, and I'm going to use that to align the letter to the 3.5 by 3-inch block. I'm going to do these in a couple batches, so I'm duplicating the number of letters that I need for this batch of names. Cricut's going to go ahead and align that out for you. Just to save some vinyl, I'm nesting them a little bit. Makes cutting a little bit more tricky, but saves you on some vinyl. And I'm using a permanent stick, high gloss, white vinyl. It's actually from Cricut, but you can use whatever you want. Get that loaded in, cut those out. If you don't have a vinyl cutter, I gotta say it's one of the tools that we added pretty late to our collection, and we've had a lot of fun making stickers and masks for things. It's very useful. All right, now that you've got each individual letter, one tip is to lightly score through the vinyl on the front, and that gives you a thing that you can peel back. It's so much faster than trying to peel from the edge. I'm peeling off the backing here and leaving the lettering that I want to go on our tiles. This is going to then be copied over with some transfer paper. So here's the transfer paper. Kind of use that same trick again, make a little score, but this time on the back, and then bend that transfer paper and you can get it over. You can use the lines on the transfer paper to actually help you square things up. I'm not using that. I'm actually going to use my little L that I've got on the tiles themselves to line up. But if you do have other projects that you want to make sure that you have everything in alignment, you can line up your stickers with those red lines on the transfer paper. It helps make sure everything gets there. So now I've got my letter and number. I use that L in the bottom right corner and then push all of my vinyl so it sticks down. You have to go slow on this to make sure that you're not ripping up, because the adhesive on the vinyl is similar stickiness to the adhesive on the transfer paper. There you go, one letter done. You can use the same piece of transfer tape for quite a few of these. Eventually you'll start getting enough debris and dust on there that it doesn't work. So now what I'm doing is actually doing a second coat of polycrylic over the top. This helps hold the letters down and prevents them from peeling up. And there you have it. There's what they look like when they're all together, and I'm pretty excited with how they turned out. And the customer that I made this for were very excited as well. So hope you learned something. Have fun with the vinyl cutter in your wood shop too.